Now here's one of the most exciting record finds that I've found for quite some time. It's a private pressing by the late actress Nancy, not by her, but in memoriam really, for Nancy Price, a famous actress, 1880 to March 1970. It says Nancy Price, CBE, author, actress, humanitarian, February the 3rd, 1880 to March 31st, 1970. Favourite poems from her repertoire. This record has been compiled from all available material. And you'll hear from the introduction to the record when I play it in a moment that the recordings, home recordings made between 1942 and 1945, which is quite an amazing find really. Wasn't easy to record yourself in those days. Don't quite know how she did it. Tape recorders were enormous, and very, very new. You know, if you get the ordinary person would have to be extremely wealthy and have a vast room to house the thing in properly to purchase one. Maybe she used wax cylinders because people use those for dictation. So it might have been one of the ways that she recorded herself. But let's have a listen to this beginning of this lovely record, maybe a poem or two. It has, as I say, it's got an introduction by probably the chap who made the record, and telling us a little bit about the record and how its compilation, and then maybe one or two poems from Nancy.
A Posage in the Poets. This collection of poems has been assembled from all known available material and is taken from recordings made by Nancy Price at her Sussex home, Arcana, between the war years of 1942 and 1945. It is interesting to note that several of these poems are repeated, some 20 years later, at the age of 82, in the recital on the reverse side of this disc. The collection concludes with 5 poems taken from a tape made at some later, unknown date, perhaps 10 years or so after the records.
Just a few among my many favourite poems which bring spring in the poet's words. The Miracle by John Drinkwater. Come, sweetheart, listen, for I have a thing most wonderful to tell you, news of spring. Albeit winter still is in the air, and the earth troubled and the branches bare, yet down the fields today I saw her pass, the spring. Her feet went shining through the grass. She touched the ragged hedgerows. I have seen her fingerprints most delicately green, and she has whispered to the crocus leaves and to the garrulous sparrows in the eaves. Swiftly she passed and shyly, and her fair young face was hidden in her cloudy hair. She would not stay, her season is not yet, but she has reawakened and has set the sap of all the world astir, and rent once more the shadows of our discontent. Triumphant news, a miracle I sing, the everlasting miracle of spring. The next is Desire in Spring by Frances Ledwidge. I love the cradle songs the mothers sing in lonely places when the twilight drops, the slow endearing melodies that bring sleep to the weeping lids. And when she stops, I love the roadside birds upon the tops of dusty hedges in a world of spring. And when the sunny rain drips from the edge of midday wind, and meadows lean one way, and a long whisper passes through the sedge, beside the broken water let me stay, while these old airs upon my memory play, and silent changes colour up the hedge. On receiving a box of spring flowers in London by Mary Webb. So the old dear Freemasonry goes on, the busy life, the laughter undersod, the leafy host with pier and gonfalon guarding the earthy mysteries of God. I did not think the violets came so soon, yet here are 5, and all my room is sweet, And here's an aconite, a golden moon shining where all her raying leaflets meet. And here a snowdrop, finely veined. Ah, see, fresh from the artist's hand, unfolded close. She only waits the sunshine and the bee, then she will open like a golden rose. A little poem by Teresa Hoodley.
Right, that's 3 poems and the introduction from this lovely record. That's the labels. Only a few of these probably left in existence because there was probably only 100 pressed. That was usually the case because otherwise you had to pay tax on the pressings. And it was pressed in, I think, in 1970, probably by one of her friends, in memoriam to her. This is a little letter little note that came inside the record that was issued at the time. It says Worthing, it's got a phone number at Worthing, Sussex. I am now able to send you the Nancy Price LP memorial record. It is 12-inch, played on 33. A special needle is required for this and runs for approximately 25 minutes on each side. Please dust the record carefully with a soft cloth before playing and handle only by the edge. It is prohibited to use this recording for public performance, broadcasting, etc. I have some extra records for sale, £2 each if anyone would care to purchase them. I feel sure the record will give you endless pleasure and bring back memories of happy and inspiring occasions from the past. FG Boys. And that's the little note. I wasn't sure what it was when I got it out of the record sleeve, whether it was the eBayer or not, but it wasn't him. He bought it from a shop a few weeks ago, apparently a charity shop. So this is from 1970, this little note, and it's the note that came with it. Let's have a look at Nancy Price. I'll just bring up Nancy Price on the screen here. I'll just give you an idea of what she looked like. Right, Nancy Price. Actress. See that? Just have a look at all the images of her. Very glamorous lady as a young woman, isn't she? You can see that. There we are. What a lovely lady. Let's go back a little bit. Go back to Wikipedia. Oops, I don't want that. It says Nancy Price, CBE, 3rd of February 1880 to 31st of March 1970, was an English actress on stage and screen, author and theatre director. Her acting career began in repertory theatre company before progressing to the London stage, silent films, talkies and finally television. In addition to appearing on stage, she became involved in theatre production and was a founder of the People's Theatre. Whilst it is tempting to separate her career into 3 distinct areas, stage, screen and writing, apart from her early career, she was just acting on stage, and her late career where she was just... sorry, I'll start that again. Apart from her early career where she was just acting on stage, and her late career where she was just writing for a period of 40 years, and she was engaged in all 3. And you can see various things that she was in. Everything from 1900, Shakespeare, Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon. And it goes up to 1950, the Orange Orchard. And let's see if there was any television. I think there was some television she did as well. BBC production, White Oaks, the Orange Orchard, Teresa Raquin, The Silver Box, Downhouse Street, Nurse Cavell, Will Shakespeare. So from 1938 to 1951 she did television as well. It's interesting, isn't it? Hope you enjoyed those recordings. Just thought it'd be worth sharing with a few people out there who might enjoy the experiences I did of finding this wonderful record.